Hello and welcome to Jewellery Rescue. I'm Kat and I'm a girl on a mission to rescue and recycle the world's unwanted jewellery. So today we are going to be looking through a box of jewellery, but it's not a mystery bag this time. This is a jewellery box full of things that I took to an auction valuation. You might have seen some of these in my shorts. These are things that I've collected over the last few years from the charity shops, car boot sales, even the local village fair, and I wasn't really sure how to value. So this was a really useful opportunity to get some more information about them and perhaps decide to sell them in the auction.
With me at 17,000.
Now the first lot of things that I showed him were these pins. Now I bought a box of jewellery from the local village fair, which I paid £10 for, and it had all of these lovely pins in, this pencil and also this brooch, which I'll show you. I didn't realise at all what I had until a few weeks later when I sat down and properly looked through the loop and found some hallmarks. So there's some quite exciting finds in here, and I just didn't know how to value them, whether I was going to sell them or keep them. So I was really interested to hear what the auction valuer had to say about those, and he did suggest putting in a lot. I'll tell you what he told me about each of them. So let's start with this beauty. So this fox is hand painted on porcelain in a gold surround, and he thought that the pin had been replaced at some point because this pin is not gold but the surround is. Isn't he absolutely stunning? He's beautiful. And then we discovered that this little set of oars, aren't they sweet? Look, that one is 15 carat, one of the smaller ones. Now he said that these could be cravat pins rather than hat pins. They're not long enough to be hat pins, so that's quite interesting to know. This horseshoe, there were two horseshoes in the box that I bought, and this one is gold. He felt that the horseshoe itself was probably 15 carat, but the stick 9 carat. That's quite a sizable one. And this was another gold one. I think it's another 15 carat. There's a mark hiding on it somewhere. And this little stone in the centre tests as diamond. I was quite excited about this one because I had a look on Etsy before I went, and I found lots that were similar but didn't have this nice rope detail around the outside, and they were priced at around £120 to £150, so I was quite excited about that one. Now this one was the bucket list find that I didn't know I had. So I've always wanted to find some Whitby jet, which is quite rare to find. I often come across the French jet, which is the glass, or what looks like French jet, but never come across Whitby jet before. And the valuer said that's what this one is sitting in. So we have a pink shell cameo, and it's on a jet background, and a base metal pin. I don't know what you think of her, whether you think she's beautiful or not. I just love it because it looks like the oldest in the group, although he said that they're all Victorian. This one to me looks older, but perhaps that's just because it's dirtier. It does sadly have some damage. I don't know if you can see in this light, but just around here. But I just love that. I was excited to be told that I had jet. This one is similar to the diamond one, but has a little seed pearl in the centre. It's just glass, that purple colour. I'm just trying to remember what he told me about the gold on this one. No, I haven't made a note, so perhaps that one wasn't gold, but very pretty. We have a silver one, very tarnished as you can see, but quite a nice plain one. Just trying to get that to focus, there we go. It's got like a little daisy flower in the middle, very sweet. And then this one he said was the oldest of the group, and he said that it was gold on banded agate. Now you can't really see that at all. I mean, even to the naked eye, I couldn't tell you that that was agate. It doesn't look like agate to me, but that's what he said that one was. And you can see it would have had a little safety chain as well. It's really sweet. If I show you that one next to the fox, you can see the size difference. So it's probably mid-19th century, I would guess, on that one from what he'd said. This is another mauve glass, and that's a gold plated one. This is an interesting one. He said this would have been part of a bar brooch. We would have had another piece here, and it's broken off. But I don't know, I assume as it was with the pins, perhaps this person wore it as a pin as well, and it's got a little blister pearl in there. Very sweet. I don't think that one was solid gold, that might be another plated one. So what did we have there? 2, 4, 6, 8, yes, 10 pins there, and he suggested putting those into a lot with a reserve of £80 and putting the estimate at 80 to 120 for the lot of 10, which I was quite disappointed with, to be honest, because I had looked up that original, the one that I showed you with the diamond, and that seemed to be valued at about that price on Etsy, but whether or not those are selling, I don't know. So for now, I have decided that I'm going to keep those pieces. Possibly I will sell them in the future, but for now I will enjoy them. Perhaps I'll make a little display for them so that I can have them out on my desk while I'm working. What do you think? Tell me in the comments, do you think that they should be worth more? I feel that there's so much history in them, and there's some precious metals in there as well. I just couldn't let them go for that amount. I actually felt quite sad in the sale room, and I was with my mum, thankfully, and she persuaded me to take them away and have a think about it, which of course I did, and made the decision not to. So this was another one that came in the same box. You can see that it's a memorial piece with hair, although sometimes these were made as sweetheart brooches, so it's possible it's not a memorial one, but certainly does have the hair inside. It's got a little bit of damage, unfortunately, to the glass here, but it is set into gold, and this was one of the most higher valued pieces in the lot. If we look at the clasp here, we can see it's a very old one. He said mid-19th century for this one, and it's set in agate. This is an agate here. And there is a tiny bit of damage to that as well. Just trying to see it on the camera. Here, there's a little crack across the agate there, sadly. But he valued that at 40 to 60 pounds, and he suggested that it go into a lot with the pencil, which I'll show you next. So this beautiful pencil here, let me push the nib out, is also gold. He wasn't sure on the carat. I would need to test it, and I am going to buy a set of testing acids because it's killing me not knowing what these things are. This is an Abe Memoir pencil, mid-19th century again, and we think probably a citrine in the top there. Isn't it stunning? It's just beautiful. So he said about £50 on this one, and suggested a lot of 80 to 120 for the two pieces. But again, I just couldn't let them go for that price. I just feel that they should be treasured for a bit longer, and I'm going to do that, and perhaps I'll sell them further down the line. So they will be locked away in a safe and taken out and enjoyed at intervals, and we will see. We'll have another look again further down the line. So with the stick pins in that box were also these pieces, which I showed him too. These were either base metal or plated, and he wasn't really very interested in them, but I think they're interesting to have with the collection. This one, he said, would have been like a bow and arrow, and it would have had a screw on the end with the other part of the arrowhead. So that's quite a fun one. And then this is just a basic 1920s or 30s hat pin, but how cool. I love to have that in the little set. And then this pin, oops, this pin is plated, and I think I'm going to use it as a charm bar. I've seen them used for that before, and I think they look really cool, so I can slide my charms on there and attach my pocket watch chain on either side to wear it on a necklace. Or you could wear it that way if I put a jump ring on there. So that's what I plan to do with that one. So that was the lot from my box that cost me £10. So it was well worth it, and I've absolutely loved looking into these pieces and finding out more about them and potentially keeping them longer term in my own collection. I also had these two interesting cameos that I picked up at the car boot sale. I paid £2 or £3 for the two of them. Sadly, there's quite a lot of damage. This one has got a crack in it across here. And this safety chain, I'm not quite sure how these safety chain works. I'd love to know. If you know, let me know in the comments. So they're both shell cameos, hand carved. They've got some age to them, but apparently worthless because they're not set in a precious metal and there is some damage. So I don't know, what do you think of those? I might pop them onto Etsy, perhaps there's a lot of the two, because I know there are people that collect cameos. I think this one's really pretty. Then I showed him these fish earrings, which I bought in a charity shop within the last couple of months. I just thought they were so cool. I've never seen an earring with a hook like that. I thought that they must be really old. I was thinking that they were about 100 years old. He didn't think so at all. He felt that they were quite modern, certainly not older than the 1970s. And he said that they mustn't be worn because they're made of brass and that can be really bad. So only to have them as a collector's piece. So I think, again, I'll probably keep those, or I will sell, if I sell them, I will put a note on there to say that I've been advised that they're not to be worn and as a collection piece only. I just think they're so cool. I paid £1 or £2 for those. This one, honestly, I can't tell you where it came from. I can't remember if it came in a donation, a charity shop bag, or whether I bought it separately from the charity shop. But I wasn't quite sure on age or value. It's beautiful marker seat work around here. It's on sterling silver, and I expect that's probably a black onyx in there. Oh, sorry, no, it's a hematite in there. And he valued that at about £7.50. So that one will be popped into the Etsy shop at some point. So that is the top section of the box. Now, you might have seen on my shorts, this one caused a bit of a stir. I absolutely adore this cuff. I picked this up at the car boot sale. I paid 50p for it from a house clearance guy who didn't know what it was. He jokingly said, oh, well, you'll probably find out it's solid silver when you get it home. And possibly it is. It's a souvenir of Paris, as you can see there. And it has these lovely coins showing some of the sights in Paris. It's beautifully decorated the whole way around, and there's also a coin hanging from the safety chain. It opens with a pin, so it's still fully wearable. And I found one of these online that's been sold in America for about $200 if I remember correctly, and that one was missing a coin here, and one of these coins was missing as well. So I had really high hopes for this one, but he reckoned that it was probably only worth a few pounds, which really surprised me. Also slightly relieved me because I want to keep it. So it kind of meant I didn't have to sell it because it wasn't worth the big bucks. But I don't know, I disagree with him on this one. Tell me what you think in the comments. He felt that it was definitely plated, judging by the wear on here. And in the sunshine, this almost looks gold on the camera, but it's not, it is silver. And it has a mark on it for Algerian silver. Just down here, it's a star and a moon. I don't dare clean it up. I'm going to keep it like this. I don't know if I would ever wear it, to be honest, but I just love to look at it. Isn't it amazing? Tell me what you think. Maybe you hate it. I'd be interested to know. I also took these along, which were a recent charity shop find that I'm absolutely sure are gold, and he agreed with me, but he said that they were scrap value because they do unfortunately have some damage. I might clean those up and either sell them or keep them. I'm not quite sure. Still deciding on those. Now, this one was a really old piece that I found at the car boot sale last summer. I bought it from a lady who told me that she was in her 70s and it was her great-grandmother's. So we know it's got some age to it. It's metal with a wooden inlay, and it's been detailed on the back as well. It's beautiful. But sadly, no value on this one, a couple of pounds, so that will probably stay in my personal collection just as a curio. I think it's a cool find. Now, amber. I buy a lot of amber and I make it into bracelets and earrings. I used to sell them a lot on Etsy, and then Etsy changed their policy and you can no longer sell amber chips on Etsy, unfortunately, for safety reasons. So I've got quite a lot of it now and I don't buy it in so much, but this one I did pick up because it had a gold marking on the clasp. I realised when I got home that it was a gold filled marking. I got a bit excited, I think, when I first looked at it without the loop. It's a gold filled clasp, but still would indicate, you know, that it's a nicely made piece. It's all been knotted in between the amber. It is broken, unfortunately, and there is a piece missing here. So I would need to restring this if I was going to sell it as is. He thought that this one was American, interestingly, I think because of the clasp or the way the gold filled. I think it says 1/20th on it, which we don't use here in the UK, certainly. He felt that it was probably made in America because of that. And not the most sought after amber, but if it was fixed, he said it would probably go for about £30 to £40. I haven't decided what to do with it. Do I sell it as is? Do I restring it myself, which would take a long time, and I'm certainly not an expert at restringing? Or do I break it up and make other things with it? Let me know what you think. Now I also took pearls. So one of these, let me see if I can remember which way around it was. This one I bought at the car boot sale and I paid £10 for it, and it has a 9-carat marking on the clasp here. Doesn't want to zoom in. There we go, it's a 375 on there. And they're peacock pearls. What did he call them? He called them something different. Oh, I didn't write it down. I think he called them a grey tinted pearls. I've always called these peacock pearls anyway, with the black with the sheen on them. He valued these at about £20, and again the same with this one, which also has a marking on the clasp. I paid, I think, about £7 for this one in an antiques market. It's one of those ones where people hire a little space within the market. There we go, there's the marking. And just leave their things out. And this was just marked up as a beaded vintage necklace. I don't think they'd seen that gold marking on it or necessarily realised that they are cultured pearls. Again, they're the black ones. They don't have all the pretty colours in that this one does. But again, he valued that one at £20 as well. But the minimum lots for this auction was £50, so that put these out of the running anyway to go into auction. So those will probably go into Etsy and or eBay. Oh, now this one is interesting. I picked this one up in a charity shop a few months ago. What did I pay for it? Somewhere between £10 and £15. The sun's just coming out to glint on it. These are the darker pearls, but they have been somehow faceted. They've either been faceted directly or they've had some kind of resin attached and then that has been faceted. I couldn't really find much reference to faceted pearls online. There is somebody manufacturing them now. They didn't look quite the same as these. The only solid reference I found was to Fabergé, who had managed to, I think, patent the faceting of pearls. I sincerely doubt this is a Fabergé piece, but what I can't find out is where on earth it was made, who by, and what it's worth. The auctioneer had never seen anything like them before. He'd never seen faceted pearls, and so therefore he couldn't give me a price or put it into the auction, which was very frustrating. I still don't know. I'm pretty sure that this is sterling silver and the clasp as well, but there aren't any markings on it that I can see. This is a handmade clasp here. Isn't it stunning? I would love to know more about it. If you've come across faceted pearls or you know, please do let me know in the comments. He wondered if it could be Turkish maybe from the design. Who knows? So that one is a mystery. We've completely foxed the auctioneer. Then I had these little pieces of broken earring that came out of a recent unboxing. I wondered if they might be jet or French jet, but they're not, they're just vintage glass. He said they might be useful to keep as spares, so I will. And then I took all of these strands of glass beads with me. which are all vintage, and they were all possibles for jet or French jet. So I believe French jet is a glass imitation of Whitby jet, which is a natural stone that was found here in the UK. But how you know whether something is vintage French jet or whether it's just a modern piece, I don't know how you know. And he agreed with me that you don't know. So these are all glass beads. They're all beautiful. They're nice sets. Look, some of them have got the older clasps. That's a really long set there. I mean, they're not high value, but he couldn't tell me what the value would be on them. So again, if you know, let me know. I'm not really sure what to do with these. I just think that they're beautiful. This one's broken, unfortunately, but I could fix that with a new clasp. This one is really interesting. It's got a nice marker seat clasp there, which is silver. I think this one came in a donation. You can see the seams on there where they've been pressed, where the glass has been pressed. But I mean, it has the look of the Whitby jet, doesn't it? I quite like that one. And this one just has a basic, slightly more modern clasp. So, I decided to sell nothing. Doesn't mean I'm going to keep it all. I definitely will sell some of these pieces, but I just loved finding out more about them. Particularly loved getting this one back out again. Slightly sad that it wasn't worth the big bucks. There we go. What do you think? Please let me know. And I will see you in the next video, which is going to be another unboxing. Do check out the channel if you're new. Please do drop me a subscribe. I really appreciate you joining me on the journey. And of course, like if you've enjoyed what you've seen.